Hey, this is Rob.
Good day. This is Daniel.
Yeah, and this is our new show where we're going to be talking about our favorite movies. For today, first episode, it's one of my favorites, Ghostbusters. It's been a while since I've seen this. Well, I guess not that long. It's been a year since the last time you saw it.
I can't even, probably a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so we're going to just watch it now, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it. Maybe compare it to the new Ghostbusters that we just watched in theaters a little while ago. Yeah, we'll talk about why it's my favorite movie. Yeah, so we just watched Ghostbusters 1984, the original one. Oh, I love this movie. It's so good.
It's just a classic
Yeah,
80s movie, but a classic movie.
classic
in general.
horror comedy. It's
Which I always found really interesting with when you like horror and comedy is you'd think you wouldn't be able to mix, but they do.
yeah,
in
when you
such
do
a
it
unique
right,
way.
it works
Yeah.
so well. And these guys do it right. Written by Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Just top notch
Yeah.
comedy, and not over the top. It just
Which is what the new one had.
yeah
A lot of. It
yeah. The
had.
comedy just works better in this. I'd say it's a timepiece. It's just so 80s,
Yeah.
but like I feel like the comedy just
But it's something.
transcends.
Yeah, you could watch like
time.
anytime.
Yeah, the new one. Yeah, a lot of the comedy didn't work. There'd be like a funny joke and then a bad joke, another bad joke,
Yeah,
and
it
then
was-
maybe a funny joke. But
Yeah, it was very
this is
forced.
like the writing's just so on the ball the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any joke that didn't work.
I don't think so. I
But-
think it's something too that like you've grown up with it more
Yeah.
than I have, but it's like even if there is like if someone's never seen it before watching it now and there is a joke, they go, really, like that was lame. Like to us or to you especially, be like, that's such a great joke or whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot of subtle humor.
Yeah.
You gotta be listening and paying attention to get
Which is
them.
the humor that I like. I like
Yeah.
that type of comedy.
Yeah, all the acting is amazing.
Yeah. The effects are cool.
Some of the effects don't work anymore.
They haven't aged.
No.
But it's like that's kinda like the corniness of the movie itself,
Yeah.
you know.
But some of it looks pretty good. A lot of the ghosts look really good still.
The ghosts are cool. The part where it's like the cloud over the building.
There's a couple parts where you're like, oh yeah, that's just a matte painting. It's really obvious, but
But there was the one that like I even remarked was really good. Where it's
yeah,
like
there's
her,
a couple that are good.
and
When
it's like the city in the background, you can't tell if it's
Yeah,
like
where-
they actually filmed up in a building or
where they're in Dana's destroyed
yeah.
apartment, and then
condo
you can
apartment.
see
Yeah.
the background. It looks really good. But for the most part, like you don't get caught up in bad special effects. You're not like, oh, that looks
Yeah,
so
I'm not,
stupid.
Yeah. I'm not like, oh, that's terrible. This is a terrible movie now.
Who's your favorite performance in this?
Performance?
Yeah.
They're all so good.
Yeah.
Rick Moranis is just the way he acts. It's just
he's
like
so-
he's so like hysterical and everything. It's just so funny to watch him.
Yeah, he's
Sigourney Weaver, I'm a big fan of, so it's cool to watch her in anything.
yeah. It's hard to choose a favorite, but for me, it's definitely Harold Ramis as Egon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's yeah. Like what was the term you used? Like so like matter of fact
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
way
He's
he
just
talks and everything.
yeah. He's just really stoic, and it
Yeah.
works so well for his character. This movie's really intricate. Like, there's a lot of background stuff that you got to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Like, they really put a lot of time and thought into every aspect of this movie, which, you know, they put all their heart and soul into it, and you can tell.
Yeah. It feels like from beginning to end, it feels like a good movie. Like it has good flow and everything. Like the introduction is solid. The middle and the exposition is solid, and then
Yeah.
the ending is good and solid. Like it's
Yeah.
not like certain. It's like ebb and flow of this, where like
Yeah.
good and then it's like boring, and then bit good and
And
then
they have
boring.
some of the funniest actors,
Yeah,
of the
classic
time.
'80s comic
like
actors.
Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah,
Ernie Hudson's hilarious
yeah.
the whole time. Just this streetwise guy who just kind of gets
Joins in.
joins in and
David
gets
Pays.
thrown into. He has no idea what's going on. He's just doing it because to make some money.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so many. It's just such a classic. There's so many classic lines. There's so many classic scenes.
Yeah.
Um,
Even just looking at the VHS, like just the
Oh,
box.
yeah. Yeah, just the logo is
like when you look at it,
classic.
it's so simple.
Yeah.
Like the second you see that. It's
and speaking of classic, like the theme song is like one of the best theme songs
yeah.
of any movie I can think of.
And the music too. Like it's not like very famous score.
Yeah.
Like it
The
has famous
soundtrack.
parts, but it works well
Yeah.
in this movie.
Yeah, and the music's really good at making the creepy parts creepy and like the funny parts funny. It's almost got that
Yeah.
rom-com sort of like fluffiness to it, but then it gets like super creepy. You know, when they're going to the library and they see that
That
first
part's
ghost
cool.
who, as a kid, that's one of the scariest scenes ever. But watching it now, it's hilarious too.
Yeah.
Because, like, in the new Ghostbusters, when they see the first ghost, the reaction isn't very believable.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, it's like, yeah, they're seeing a ghost for the first time. That's how I'd act seeing a ghost for the first time.
Yeah.
They're a little freaked out, like...
But they're excited at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, once they ran out of the library, like, wow, did you see that? Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
But they're, like, legitimately scared. They ran out, which...
One of the,
was hilarious.
I love how the extras, like, just people in the background, their reactions to, like, what's going on. Like, they're so oblivious, and they're just like, what? And these, like, crazy guys in, like, Ghostbusters uniforms are, like, running through the streets, and everyone's just like, what is going on?
I love how they get famous for this.
Yeah.
I know all the ghosts are coming out because, you know,
And they play that in the movie,
Gozer's
too.
coming out.
Yeah.
But, like, they go from this really crappy, like, the really crappy commercial on TV, which is hilarious.
And they get, like, thrown out by their university. And they have
Yeah,
no
yeah,
funding.
they get thrown out by the university. They, you know, exploit Ray's character, or Dan Aykroyd's character.
With the mortgage.
With the mortgage. And taking a third mortgage out on his parents' house that he now owns, and using all that money to buy the fire hall,
Mhm.
like fix it up and get the
Which even that-
Ecto 1 and all that.
Yeah, that, like, the car and the building, like, it's so...
Oh, they're classic.
They're classic, and they're almost characters within themselves, you know?
Yeah, especially the car, like
The noises it makes, how it
yeah,
looks,
the siren
all
that
the
it has.
gadgets and lights. And
I think that one thing, the siren noise, is the biggest problem I had with the new movie. They
Yeah.
didn't have the right siren noise.
yeah.
That could have, you know, made me like it a lot more.
Which, like,
It's
part
so
of it,
iconic.
yeah, part of it is probably like, we gotta make this film different. But then it's like, yeah, but it's literally the same
It's
as
a
the
reboot.
first film.
It's a reboot. You gotta.
You have ever so slight different plot points.
If you have to reboot a movie that doesn't need to be rebooted, you gotta use that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That is the most important part of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
That
You have
noise.
to keep those elements.
Yeah,
And when you don't, it's, I don't know. And I wonder if they make their own, like, what they use. I wonder if they make it. Like, if they invent it. Or if they, like, have to, like, get
Like all their
random
gear?
stuff. Yeah. And, like, put random stuff
yeah,
together.
that would have been really cool to see how they made the gear.
Yeah.
Because they sort of talk the science behind it, but they don't
And that's
show them building it.
That's probably one of my favorite parts of it is they don't have to explain it.
Yeah.
They don't have to, like, show this thing and explain, like, how does it work? I don't know, a beam shoots
Yeah,
out
they
of
just
it.
use some sciencey words, and
Yeah.
you know, it definitely works.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Like, I don't have to be like, that wouldn't be possible, blah, blah.
Yeah, and I just love the chemistry all the characters have together. Like,
Yeah.
it all just is perfect. Like, you know, Bill Murray's an asshole, Dan Aykroyd's sort of the blubbering idiot. Like, Hill Ramis is this super smart dude
Yeah.
who is socially awkward, and then Ernie Hudson is just like the street smart dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it all just works together, and as a team, you feel like they're, you know, actually working
Yeah.
together. They need each other.
And it's such an iconic team.
Yeah, no one Ghostbuster, you know, can do it himself. They need
Yeah.
each other
Mm-hmm.
for sure, which is really important.
Yeah.
And I mean, with like the new Ghostbusters, you felt like they're a team, but this movie just did it way better.
Yeah. Do you have any comparisons between the two, like, pros and cons of, like, in the new one? Since we watched that, compared to this one? A
Like,
lot of it-
obviously overall this one's miles ahead.
Nothing will ever beat the
Yeah,
original. Like,
there's no point of remaking, rebooting,
Yeah.
or whatever.
it's just the new one. It just feels forced. Where this one just feels
Yeah.
so organic.
And like
new.
we said, the new one isn't a bad movie by any means. We've both seen much worse
movies than that. Yeah.
It doesn't need to exist, and yeah, they'll never be able to recreate what happened here.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. It's just like you're not seeing a new experience.
It was like a perfect storm for this movie, like the
Mhm.
time period,
Yeah.
the writers, the actors, the special effects. They all just come together perfectly.
Yeah.
The new one, the actors are good. The writing's not very good.
Yeah.
Special effects are
yeah.
standard 2016.
Yeah, just
The
you,
direct-
you
yeah.
know it's like all an illusion.
Yeah, you can't get something like the original Ghostbusters again.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like this, how long has this thing been out? Like since '84.
Yeah,
So
like 22 years.
Yeah, like
so,
we could watch this.
10 years from
and-
now.
Yeah, like I could watch it over and over again and still like I'm not gonna have an experience of like when I saw a certain movie for the first time and be like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
But like I can still relive that memory of like watching something and being like, wow, that was cool. Or like the new one or like movies like that today where it's just like you watch it and you're just like you don't
you
don't
get
really
that
take anything
wow
from
factor.
it.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that's because the movie's bland or.
I think it's
'cause
just
we're
because like
adults now.
I've that and because I've seen it before.
Yeah.
But it's just not. It's like I'm seeing something that's feels like a cheap version of that.
Yeah.
So again, it's just something that didn't really had to be done. Where this, when you watch it, like I could watch movies like this over and over and still be like, it's just.
He's pointing to the VHS right here.
Oh yeah.
In case you're wondering. Yeah, it's one of those movies that
It just feels.
it's
Real, I guess.
Yeah,
Every time I watch it.
like I said, it's got a lot of heart, and
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most important things with a movie. You got to believe everyone is into it 100%.
Mhm.
From the director, the writers, to the cast, they have to
Yeah.
be into it, and it's just one of those movies.
I always wondered, like, the one thing I always wondered with those types of movies is when they make it, when it initially comes out, do they know, like, the cultural, or, like, the pop cultural impact
probably
that,
not.
that will have, Like,
No.
maybe I wonder, like, when that came out, what it was like, and then 2 years after it came out, and then obviously, like,
Yeah.
now it's like this household name of pop culture.
Yeah.
Like, even if you've never seen it, you kind of, like, that, like, Ghostbusters kind of sound or whatever.
Yeah, the theme song is everywhere. Everyone's heard that.
Yeah.
Most people, well, except for our server, when we went to that restaurant, and we were telling her we were going to go see Ghostbusters, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, that's based off a cartoon, right?" We're like, "No,
No.
we're not even going to bring up."
Yeah.
Like,
We'll excuse you.
everyone's seen this movie, and for some reason you haven't seen this movie. It's on Netflix. Just go watch it. Like, do yourself a favor. What are you thinking next week? I'm thinking Men in Black.
Yeah, we were discussing that.
Yeah, another one of favorite movies. Same
Yeah.
vein. Next week, Men in Black. We'll watch it. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you want. If you liked what you heard,
Yeah.
leave a comment. Your views on this movie. Yeah.
That's
Thanks
about
for
it.
watching. See you later.